The Brain Crypto channel appreciates your continued support. Salutations, all. A rift has opened up in the XRP community as many members are leaving the ecosystem for other chains in search of the funding they need to expand on the Xrpl. We need more use cases. That is, everything. We can talk about it, and I'll tell you what I think, because you want to know what I think is BS. Curious about my meaning? Some say their project is on the brink of extinction due to a lack of support from Ripple, an insufficient number of interested XRP ledger users, or an unwillingness to spend XRP. You're constructing on top of the XRP ledger, that's it. Meshes, I am being totally honest when I state that your project is awful. You appear to think that if you transfer to a more famous chain, your initiative will become the most talked about and innovative thing in the industry. However, in actuality, its placement is irrelevant. It will inevitably be on the most popular blockchain at the present time. Our Solana moving a project from the XRP ledger to the Solana ledger will have a disastrous effect regardless of how far you walk from the foundation. We will go into the projects that have practical value and are genuinely making great things. These will be the ones that survive and prosper through the current bull market, the next bear market, and into the next bull market in 2028 or beyond. The sales are calling. The behavior of El Salvador ought to be investigated. We will go on to the more environmentally friendly XRP ledger shortly. Bitcoin as well as the present Bitcoin market compared to a day ago, the current value of $61,837 is up 1%. Ethereum is scheduled to arrive at $29.41. Look at this, it's 4% in terms of dollar pegs. XRP is USDT, while USDC is USD. It's only 50 cents, all of you listen up, folks, it's $1. This stasis, however, will soon end, and the combined market value of all cryptocurrencies will surpass $2,305 billion. I think that's awesome, Justin. Earlier today, El Salvador unveiled a brand new website. It oversees their National Bitcoin Reserve Fund. The 5,740 bitcoins they bought were worth more than $353 million. Do not exert yourself, I am delighted. These numbers will appear even more impressive when bitcoins are participating in a bull market, which is a major advantage. Their profit will reach $1 billion at the conclusion of this cycle. What happens, though, when the value of Bitcoin suddenly drops? The chart is visible, but what happens to these figures after that? The effect will be the same as if it were lying flat on its back. For the time being, I find it to be excellent. It will be interesting to see whether they keep showing this in future eager crypto charts. Here is the Bitcoin chart. There has been no change. There has been no alteration. The consolidation area lies between 60,000 and 64,000, while the breakout range is between 74,000. That looks simple. Not a single thing has changed. At the moment, Bitcoin is moving in a flat pattern. This will transpire, as we previously cautioned. We were ready for it, it was bound to happen. We were hoping to see a run-up while halved. We expected a little letdown and some sideways consolidation when the bull run ended, even if everyone is calling for the markets to keep climbing. It is not accurate that they are starting to sell their holdings in Dutch, because Bitcoin has already reached its top. Alright. Sideways accumulation is what we're seeing right now. This makes sense to me. With this film in hand, I propose that tomorrow, around halfway through, we pause the movie since I am so excited to dive into this. Numerous inquiries are prompted by this. Also, I'm going to get a glass of water. Alright, now we can discuss this chip. It astounds me that Ripple has completely neglected one of the most inventive XRP ledger projects, one that asserts to have integrated payments. One example is Gumly, a gaming startup that received 100 million forte from Ripple in 2019. Since Gumly had no connection to the XRP system, the funds could be used any way they liked. Ironically, there were previously no limits on how Ripple may allocate funding to such programs. I am now in talks with two projects that participated in one of Ripple's first investment rounds. It appears that they were simply given the money without any further inquiry or investigation. Most projects failed even though they got funding at the outset. Projects involving distributed XRP ledger products that will have an effect between 1 million and 100 are considered within this framework. Seriously, it's absurd. A large stake in your business must be willing to be given up in exchange for $1 million in funding. You should have records that support your income, expenses, and runway if you wish to approach a venture capitalist for $1 million. If you approach a venture capitalist for funding, they will naturally want to know when they will get their money's worth. Companies can use Xrpls, which are grants, to expand. Also, how much money they may expect to make from your company while you're talking to them. So basically, you're implying that you'd prefer not to do the arithmetic and would instead make up numbers. For example, let's say you're thinking of selling 5% of your company for 20%. Your organization must ensure that the assessment it conducts is accurate. Do you have any opinions? I'm going to picture a small aquarium with sharks. Since you are prepared for the pitch question, how much are you looking? $1 million is certainly within the realm of possibility. The companies will pay you $200,000, or maybe $100,000 or $12,000, depending on your luck, if you can locate them. You can grow, then, right? If you're looking to launch your product but require cash from a venture capital firm, Xrpl is a great option. For whatever reason, you're stuck, you've never had a project to start with, and you're in the incorrect field. Leave this place immediately if you need other people's money to finish your idea. As a venture investor looking on, what can I do? After I provide funding for your project's debut, what happens next? At some point, something will break, something will need to be changed or updated, something will need to be repaired or replaced, or more money will be needed. Just like when you buy a boat, after you do it, what happens? I was under the impression that you could just keep pouring money into it to keep it going, right? Here it remains unchanged. Is Xrpl's award amount for projects going up? Is there something you know they should do? In my opinion, they should. Should companies, however, just pay people to promote their initiatives on social media, like Twitter, if they want to see how much interest they get online? Certainly not the best course of action for them to take. Beyond that, my evaluation of what they did. Before authorizing a project, Xrpl should look at their performance history, make sure the promised tasks have been completed, and make sure there is enough money to begin the project. I don't have any experience with this, but that's what I understand. I would only put money into projects that were already well funded, in the production phase, and had a clear justification for why they were necessary. Because I am not going to offer you any money right now, I would prefer not to hear about your plan to launch your project using my money. Our video comes to an end with it. Your continued support in the form of a subscription and thoughtful commentary is much appreciated. Gracias por todo, depart.